This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get right into the news. We're going to talk about Fat Joe. Okay, now Fat Joe, he had a line and lean back saying even Roy Jones was forced to lean back. Now, Roy Jones was one of the top boxers around that time, and he got KO'd. He got knocked out, okay? So Roy Jones Jr. took that personally, and Fat Joe claims that, hey, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like even Roy Jones, being the big boxer he is, leans back, right? But nah, he meant it disrespectful. He said I was friends with him at the time, and he took offense to it, and he was looking for me. And he was looking for me all over the city, and he was going to knock me out. And I knew he could knock me out. He's a boxer. I'm not a boxer, right? So Roy Jones approached him in a club once, and he begged him. He said, please don't. Anybody would have begged him. Imagine Floyd Mayweather or somebody coming up to you. They're going to know to tag you the right way and knock you out. So Fat Joe was like, yo, please don't knock me out. Plus, look over there. Now, this is where we get to the infamous Fat Joe. 1 million deep, 1,000. He's always 100 deep. This guy travels like MC Hammer in his mind, where has a tour bus, 2 tour buses full of people at all times with 100 people ready to rumble for him. I mean, he's incredible, man. Who rolls around with 2 tour buses full of their crew? Yeah, it's all BS. But anyways, he probably had a couple guys with him. He said, hey, man, if you knock me out right now, they're going to react. And I can't do anything about it. You don't want to get shot. So Roy Jones Jr. said, was it only rap? And he said, yes, it was only rap. And they put it at peace. But, you know, why is Fat Joe always saying he's 1 million deep? Like, come on, man. You're a great storyteller, but chill out. Chill out, my G. We know you got goons in the city. I saw an old interview with The Game today, and he was talking about, this is the first time he apologized to 50 Cent. And he apologized on behalf of, he was the first person. Who knows how far G-Unit could have gone? See, after Game flipped, he had already signed, 50 had already expanded with Mobb Deep and MOP, which were great additions. Olivia wasn't the greatest addition. She was down. And because, like, come on, we were getting a little too spicy over there. But when a crew starts to fall apart, see, as a fan, you imagine they're a tight team, they got each other's backs, they're going to make a lot of money together. You don't want to make your company seem weak, right? So when The Game went against 50 Cent, and it was really over nothing, it was over dumb stuff. He, to this day, couldn't tell you what it was over. I remember how it started. 50 was very much, if I have a problem with somebody, you got a problem with them. So The Game wanted to be friends with Jadakiss, wanted to be friends with Nas. These are the guys he looked up to, right? Even though he had his own problems with Jay-Z, I'm sure he didn't really want 50 Cent doing stuff with Jay-Z, right? Because before Game even dropped his first album, he had a bunch of mixtapes out, and on every one he's dissing Jay-Z. Everyone. Go listen to those. JT Bigafiga put those out. Now, The Game, like 50 Cent didn't like him calling Nas on MTV. He called Nas, and 50 and Nas had a little issue at the time. It was minor. Remember, 50 was, a little man to Nas in the beginning because he was on Sony. Nas was the big guy, so he was opening up for Nas. Nas brought him on tour. They had a little bit of an issue. Nothing big. They were going to get over it. The Jadakiss thing, it was really over him just doing that song with Ja Rule, the New York song. That's how Fat Joe got dragged into it. And 50 expected people to be loyal to the team. But Game went against that. And they tried to piece it out. Jimmy Iovine tried to patch it up, but the game said, I'm doing what I... Game always had... This is the problem. The game always had the motive to leave. He makes excuses for why he left. But the first day he signed, you know, Jim Jones and him were together, and Jim Jones tells this story that the game told him, I'm going to have a beef with 50 and I'm going to be bigger than ever. 50 helped him write his first album, gave him songs, gave him hit records. He got where he needed to be, went against 50 Cent, hurt G-Unit. Who knows how far G-Unit could have gone? And once you have a little break and everything, just like what happened to Dipset between Jimmy and Cameron, which was ridiculous, right? When Jim Jones took 50's side. People try to always say that didn't happen. It did. I saw an interview just the other day when they were talking about that, and they said, no, that didn't happen like that. It did happen like that. Jim Jones and Jewel. No, I saw it was an interview with J.R. Ryder and them. I was there. They weren't at that video shoot. They weren't at that video shoot with Jim Jones in the church. I was, and some other people were there. And I remember Jim Jones and Juelz going aside and deciding at that moment that they weren't going to go with Cam going against 50. They didn't want to do that. Jim Jones was having a run. Cam was kind of not, you know, he didn't have an album out at the time. Jim Jones did, and he was working on his album. He didn't want that, right? So he went against it. That's when you saw Juelz and Jim go on stage with 50 within 2 weeks, you know? You saw Jim Jones go to BET, the Rap Basement, when 50 Cent was hosting with G-Unit. And that ruined Dipset because it looks like it's not tight. You guys are just being HOEs for the money and not keeping it tight. The crew that keeps it, no crew stays tight. Look what happened to TDE. I don't care what they say or what you say. Kendrick is leaving. Kendrick is doing his own thing. He's not happy there. If he was happy there, TDE, Top Dog would make him a part owner, or maybe he wasn't willing to do that, but like they would stay a team and they would keep doing what they're doing. It would be an extension of TDE, but it's not. People outgrow their situations. I don't think Drake would have ever left, but it just worked out that way because Lil Wayne kind of wanted to leave Cash Money because he wasn't getting paid properly. But, you know, Cash Money's been around so long and gone through so many changes. 2005, they went through changes where they lost everybody. They just had Wayne. 2004 and 5. It's hard. Look at what happened to Rockefeller. Jay-Z retired just to end Rockefeller because he wanted it for himself. It's crazy how people can't stay together. And people are always stronger together than apart. And it's a shame. And the game realized that later. And everybody thinks that they can be the boss. And it's a lot harder. What artist did the game come out with on his own record label? Nothing. On Black Wall Street. Nobody. The game, 50 Cent, Cameron, and these people made people millionaires, okay? 50 Cent had Young Buck, Lloyd Banks, The Game, Tony Yayo. Olivia made some money, but she never got that far. We could even say he helped Prodigy, and Prodigy made a lot of money with G-Unit and Havoc. So, MOP never got to put out an album, but they got some Porsches out of the deal. They got to drive some Porsches for a few years. Those were leased, but, 50's smart. He's not going to buy a Porsche straight out. He leased them. It's a tax write-off. Anyways, Cameron made everybody a millionaire. Now, it took Jim, Cameron, and Juelz together to make that happen. But everybody got rich. And then you guys just want to go against it and have your own thing. I want Bird Gang and I want Skull Gang. It's like, come on, man. It's foolish. You know? But people don't get it, man. It takes a lot to be a mastermind. You know? I respect it. As ruthless as 50 is, that's what it takes to run a company the way he was running it. Cameron, he's ruthless. But it takes that kind of person to run the label. Do you think Jeff Bezos is the best person in the world? Or Elon Musk? Or Steve Jobs? These people are ruthless, man. That's what it takes to get there. I don't have it. I can't be that ruthless. I can't be that heartless. I just don't got it. I can mastermind some stuff on my own. I could never manage a bunch of people. I'm too nice. Can't be that nice. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. I appreciate you guys. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.